We're going to start with child's pose today. So big toes together, knees wide. Walk the hands forward, shift the hips back, relax the forehead. We're going to do it a little differently today. Make sure the knees are wide so you don't feel any compression on the belly, and then move into equal parts belly breathing. So fill up that lower belly, feel it reach the floor, and then gently pull it back up. Continuing with that 4 count. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. And then bend the arms, bring the hands to prayer at the base of the head. Breathing deeply. I read an interesting article in Yoga Journal about how this pose is about gratitude and humility. And I really liked that. And she said that every day she starts with this pose, the knees connecting, the feet, the elbows, the forehead. And that teaches us humility to walk through the rest of the day. A few more deep belly breaths here. Release the arms along the mat. Press up to all fours. Bring the knees back hip distance. And then move into cat and cow with the breath. Inhale, lengthen, look forward slightly. Exhale, curl, rolling up the spine. Continuing with your breath. And from here, sit back on the heels. Warm up the arms. Inhale the arms up, reaching through the fingertips. Exhale through heart center. Continuing that with the breath. Inhale, reach, feel the muscles of the arms waking up. Exhale, press through heart center. Taking the time to link the breath to the movement and warming up the arms. Last one. And coming back to all fours, we're going to move into a nice slow thread the needle. So especially slow. Let's start with the right arm. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, thread it all the way through till you finish your exhalation. And then inhale up, but bow and arrow the arm up. So elbow first, then reach the hand. Exhale, get that little bit of a stretch. Inhale, bow and arrow the arm back up. Good. Linking the breath to the movement. Slow, mindful breathing. Moving in the right way so that we can continue to practice safely. And then also we can take that practice into the real world. Whatever we're doing, start off slow, doing it right, and then it just becomes natural. Then on this next one, go ahead and thread all the way through and hold. Reach the left arm toward the top of the mat. And for something a little different, try bringing the forehead to the mat. It will intensify that stretch in the shoulder. Bring the left hand closer, press back up to all fours. Before we do the left side, just shift the hips side to side, moving into those hips. You can introduce whatever movement feels good here. If cat and cow feels better, go with that. The meeting back in center, and same thing on the left arm. So inhale, elbow up, reach. Exhale completely as you thread. Inhale, back up, bow and arrow arm. Notice the difference between the sides. No judgment, simply tuning in and paying attention. Ooh, there was a crack. On the next one, once you thread through, hold there. Reach the right hand to the top of the mat. Breathe. We're on the left side of the face to start before we move to the forehead. Forehead to the mat, intensifying the stretch. And gently press back up to all fours. We're going to generate some fire next, so tuck the toes. Start to draw the ribs together, almost like you're going to do cat, but so core is nice and strong. And then we're going to really press into the hands and hover the knees above the mat. So you'll feel the core engage, you'll feel the strength of the arms. Try to turn the creases toward the top of the mat, plugging those elbows into the, arms into the sockets. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower the knees. Untuck the toes, and then let's move into hip circles. So lean the hips to the right, back, left. You can make this your own. You can walk the hands forward and lower the hips in the front. Whatever feels good. Getting into that lower back and the hips. Reverse that circle. And then come back to all fours, stacking the joints, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. We're going to do that hover one more time. So tuck the toes, press evenly into the hands, deep breath in, activate the core. Exhale, hover. Really work on the form here. Feel the strength in the arms, the legs, the core. Try to arch through the upper back a little more. Press into that index finger and thumb. 2 more deep breaths. And lower down. Knees wide, big toes together, press back into child's pose. That's your break, your reward after that. Generated some fire, now we'll breathe deeply. Pressing back up to all fours. Let's walk our hands toward the top of the mat for puppy pose, stretching out those arms we just worked. Keep the hips up, sink the chest and forehead to the mat. If it's in your practice, you could do chin to the mat instead. But pay attention to the neck. It shouldn't bother the neck at all. And gently press back up. Knees wide, big toes together, press back to child's pose, but this time we're going to wrap our arms behind us, interlace the fingers, and just rest the hands on the sacrum. This allows a little bit of a shoulder stretch and lets the shoulders release. Deep belly breaths. Release the arms, reach them to the top of the mat. Shift up, tuck the toes, come on up to down dog. Pedal out the feet. Working into those feet and the calves. And then from here, we're going to shift forward, tap the knees, so similar to what we did with the hover, and then press up and back to down dog. Then with the legs bent back nice and straight, see if you can reach the right hand for the left ankle or the left calf or thigh. If that's too much, stay with 2 hands on the ground. Deep breaths, working on that strength and that fire again. You can twist to look under the left shoulder. Right hand back down to the ground. Shift forward, tap the toes, and shift back to down dog. Option to hold regular down dog, or you can reach the left hand for the right ankle and look under the right shoulder. Left hand back down to the ground, bend the legs and walk the feet forward to forward fold. Inhale all the way up to standing. Exhale the hands through heart center. Inhaling the arms up again. Interlace the fingers, index finger released. Exhale to the right and hold. Gently twisting the chest up toward the ceiling, pushing the left hip out, pressing evenly into the feet. Then inhale, center, exhale to the left, same thing. Right hip presses out, chest reaches toward the ceiling. Inhale, center, and exhale, fold. Inhale, half fold, hands on the shins, thighs, floor, straight back. Exhale, release. Stepping the right leg back, drop the knee. Inhale the arms up, and then relax the arms in shoulder rolls. Hold in center, make sure that right glute is on. Inhale the arms up, lengthen, lean back a little bit, relax the shoulders. Then interlace the fingers, index finger released, and really reach toward the ceiling or the wall behind you. Then from here, exhale the hands to the base of the skull and lean back into the hands, reaching the elbows to opposite sides of the room. Inhale the arms up, exhale down to the floor. Then we're going to move from lunge to hamstring stretch. Moving with your breath. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, hamstring stretch. You could use blocks here under both hands. We'll do the same on the other side. So if the blocks are handy, keep them nearby for the other side. The next time we're in lunge, let's hold there. Come up, bring the hands to the hips, tuck the right toes, find your drishti, and then come up to high lunge. Inhale the arms up. Breathe. And then for a little bit of an added challenge, we're going to straighten the left leg, pull the arms to cactus, so still in lunge. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, straighten. If this is too challenging for the balance, place the right heel down for warrior one and do the same thing. Last one. Let's meet in lunge. Arms up, deep breath in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale the hands to the floor. Drop the right knee. Untuck the toes. Straighten the left leg, the hamstring stretch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hinge. Reaching the hips back so they're even. Inhale back to lunge. Bring the hands to the inside of the foot. Sink the hips for lizard. Lengthen through the spine. You could also use the blocks here. If you want a little more, you can come down to the forearms. Yogi's choice. Come out of this a little bit. Lock the hands a little closer. Swing the left leg straight back. Option to stay as is, or you could add the right arm for spinal balance. Deep breaths. Pull the hips together. Feel the core supporting the stretch and balance. Exhale, release the hand, the knee. Press back to child's pose. Deep breath in, sigh it out. Inhale forward to a kneeling plank. Exhale, slow chaturanga. Inhale, baby cobra. Or if your back feels warm, you could press up to full cobra. Looking down at the ground so we aren't straining the neck. Exhale, release. Pressing up to all fours. Swing the right leg forward. Inhale the arms up. This time left arm forward, right arm back, and swing. Keep that left glute on so we're still stretching the left psoas. Working on mobility in the shoulders, also challenging our balance a little bit. Then inhale both arms all the way up. Lengthen, turn that left glute on. Balance with the right leg. Interlace the hands, index finger released. Reach up to the ceiling or the wall behind you. Keep the ears in line with the biceps so you're looking forward or slightly up. Again, we don't want to dump into the neck. Exhale the hands to the base of the skull. Reach the elbows to opposite sides of the room. Lean back a little more. Head is fully supported in the hands. Inhale the arms up. Exhale down to the mat or your blocks. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, hamstring stretch. Toes come up. Moving at your own pace here. And the next time we're in lunge, let's hold there. Find your balance, tuck the left toes, bring the hands to the hips. Find your drishti. This is a hard transition. Then lift up to high lunge. Inhale the arms up and breathe. Find length through the side body. Try to bring that right leg to a 90-degree angle or close to it. Left heel is lifted or down in warrior one. And then adding some movement, straightening the right leg, pull the arms to cactus. Inhale, high lunge. We only have 5 of these. Challenging our muscles, our balance. Then meeting in lunge or warrior one, inhale, lengthen. Exhale the hands down to the mat. Drop the left knee, straighten the right leg, hamstring stretch. Blocks can be used here again. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, belly to thigh. Inhale, back to lunge. Bring the hands to the inside of the foot for lizard. Sink the hips. Use your blocks here or come down to the forearms. Whatever feels best. Come out of this a little bit. Walk the hands a little closer so wrists are under shoulders. Swing the right leg back. Readjust. Option to stay here. Make sure the right toes are pointing down, or you can add the left arm for spinal balance. Exhale the knee and the hand. Knees wide, big toes together. Press back to child's pose. Deep breaths. Shifting on up. Tucking the toes. Let's come up to down dog again. Pedal out the feet. Whatever feels good. And then let's bend the legs, lengthen through the spine, and hold down dog. Deep breaths. Now we're going to come to seated. You could just come to seated, or you can bring one leg forward, then the other, cross, and extend the legs in front. All right, so feet flexed, heels lifted, legs active, deep breath in, and hinge forward. Hands can go next to the legs, on the shins, hold on to the feet, whatever feels good. Inhale on up. Bend the legs, bring the hands behind, fingers pointing to your hips if you can. Feet hip distance. Option 1, inhale, open up through the chest. Option 2, shrug the shoulders forward and press the hips up, keeping that imaginary apple between the chin and the chest. And slowly release. All right, from here, let's bring the right leg in. Drop it out so the sole of the foot's on the inside of the foot. Left leg straight. Face the left leg. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hinge. Again, hands can go wherever you'd like. Option to bring the right hand to the outside of the left ankle, stretching through that right side body a little more. Lower it back. Inhale on up. Nice long spine and twist to the right toward the bent leg. Just a little bit of a counter twist, looking over the back right shoulder. Exhale back to center, switch legs. Right leg extends, left leg in, lock the knee, drop it out. Sit up nice and tall, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, belly to thigh, walk the hands forward and relax the shoulder and head. Shoulders. Option to add on by reaching the left hand to the outside of the right ankle. Hopefully you can't hear my 5-year-old yelling at the puppy who's probably trying to eat her right now. And then come on up. Inhale, lengthen. Use the core to twist to the left toward the bent leg and look over the back shoulder. Right foot stays flexed, toes pointing up. Unwind to center. Bend both legs, bringing the soles of the feet together for butterfly. Inhale, lengthen. We're going to start like this using the muscles of the hips to try to open up, holding onto the ankles or feet. A couple more breaths just like this. And then if you'd like, you could start to hinge forward, pressing the chest forward, trying to keep the back as straight as possible. And inhale on up. Bending the legs, bringing the feet to the edges of the mat, so wider than hip distance. We're just going to move into a slow hip flow, getting rid of any kinks we might still have. The meeting and center, feet together. Bring the forearms to the ground, open up through that chest, lift up the feet, and then we're going to windshield wiper the legs side to side with the breath. So inhale, move, exhale, hold. Inhale, other side. Exhale here. In the meet and center, release the feet to the floor, lay all the way back. Hands down by the hips, prepping for bridge, feet hip distance. Inhale, lift the hips up. Option to interlace the hands. And breathe. Press evenly into the feet. Keep the knees hip distance. Open up through the chest. Press into those shoulders, triceps. Exhale, slowly unwind. And then hug the knees into the chest. From here, widen the knees. Bring the soles of the feet up to the ceiling. Option one, pull the back of the thighs for happy baby. Or arms on the inside, you could hold to the outsides of the feet or the big toes. Whatever feels best. Try to press the lower back into the ground. And release the feet to the floor. Feet together, arms out to a T. Let's shift the hips over to the left and then drop the knees to the right. Look over at the left hand. Deep breaths. Inhale, center. Shift the hips over to the right side of the mat. Drop the knees to the left. Look over at the right hand. Inhale, center. Lengthen both legs, feet hip distance or wider. Roll the shoulders under so the palms turn up. We're going to spend 1 minute of deep breathing. We're going to do that equal parts breathing. So let's start by inhale, side out. Then inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Continuing in your own head with your own breath. Begin to wiggle the fingers and toes, rotating wrists and ankles. Inhale the arms overhead, lean to one side, stretching through the side body. And inhale to center and over to the other side, stretching through the opposite. Then roll onto whichever side feels more comfortable. And 3 deep mindful breaths here. Gently press on up to seated. Thank you for joining me today. Humility, gratitude,